What's up, everybody? This is Rochelle Gone Rogue. Welcome to my channel. This is going to be a 1-month recap of how amazing my life has been since moving to this beautiful city known as Mazatlán, Mexico. My overall travel to Mazatlán was pretty straightforward. Diamond was on her best behavior, which I was really proud of her for, and that made the trip a lot more easy. It was only a 2-hour flight. I flew from Phoenix to Mazatlán, and it was a pretty straightforward trip, but we were definitely exhausted when we got to our Airbnb. Um, Overall, Airbnb was pretty simple, it was pretty decent, and it was economical. Nothing fancy about it, but my neighbor did have these amazing plants which were really beautiful. We both had a lot to get used to. Diamond had to get used to using the restroom on fake grass, and I had to get used to hearing fireworks in the middle of the night on a weekday. It's definitely an interesting experience, to say the least. My first couple days in Mazatlan, I didn't really eat anything. I had just snacked around, so I was really grateful for this delicious meal I had. It was basically just an assortment of seafood tacos, 10 out of 10. They were actually really delicious. I also took a taxi along the Malecon, which was really beautiful. And I really loved my Airbnb because there was a cafe across the street from it, which was really beautiful. And it had this beautiful rooftop where I would go to journal, relax, clear my thoughts, and also enjoy delicious food, of course. I ended up finding an apartment after 5 days, and I feel extremely blessed to be able to find a beautiful, brand new apartment with an ocean view at a very affordable price. I also feel really fortunate that I was able to meet my tribe so early on. I've met amazing friends, and the most cherished friend is a 16-year expat named Ruby.
You might have to live in game, but don't worry. Just be happy. Got no cash, ain't got no time. Somebody came and took your bed, but don't worry. Ooh, just be happy.
I was also excited to be able to find some good weed out here, and also I found a nice little smoke shop that really has everything I need. They have a pretty good selection of different things, and they also have rolling papers over here. They have incense, they have vapes, air fresheners, then they have rolling papers here. They also have king palms, which I was really impressed with. And then they have cones, and they also have all different types of rolling papers here. They have raw papers, and then they have pink rolling papers, pink filters. I'm probably gonna try those out. Glass tips, which is really cool. And then also some vape stuff here.
Living for the city, share with you my innovations. I told you that I rap, you ignored your crimination to avoid.
I'm not gonna lie, guys, the grocery store here left a little bit to be desired. The produce wasn't the freshest, and also they had a limited supply. This store here was actually a supermarket, and they still didn't even really have half of the fruits and vegetables that I'm used to seeing. But I'm looking forward to going to the local market, the local farmers market, and seeing what they have to offer. I had went to the more rural areas of the Mazatlan to go to an animal sanctuary, and it was interesting to see how different people live in different parts of the city. Situation. What's up, guys? So I'm at the animal sanctuary, and I'm just volunteering and helping out the best way that I can. It's definitely a new experience for me. I got stung by a bee, so I'm a little bummed about that. It's my first time getting stung by a bee. So I'm trying to, just enjoy the experience and take it all in and just help where I can. What they do at the animal sanctuary is really a great thing. The animal sanctuary that I volunteered at houses over 200 animals, and these animals would be on the street if it wasn't for them. So I really am impressed with the team there, and I'm really impressed with their mission overall. Volunteering there was overwhelming my first time there. My main responsibilities was to help clean up the recreational area for the dogs and to also help move the dogs from the pens to the recreational areas so they can get their daily exercise. And of course, give the dogs some loving. I had stopped at the local Home Depot to get some gardening equipment and also some herbs and some houseplants. And it's pretty standard, it's pretty on par to the Home Depot in the States. Really, no major differences. I was really impressed with their houseplant section. I don't know a lot about the houseplant culture in Mexico, but they had a pretty good variety. I just wanted to show you guys, this is a pretty popular plant that a lot of people in the States wish they had access to. Back it up. If you see the price down there, it's 400 peso, and it's plentiful, very healthy. I really love the look of it, but I'm just not ready for a plant like this yet. If I decide to stay here longer than 6 months, I might consider getting it. And if you come through here, these African mask alocasias are very popular in the States. These are for sale for like 80 peso. These philodendron hopes are really popular. How much are these? I think they're 80 peso. These huge palms, which are also pretty popular in the state. I forget the exact name of it. These are 1,000 peso, which is about $50. So definitely they have a nice variety. I think I might get this rosemary herb here. It's already started here. Rosemary takes kind of a long time to get started. So I might buy a rosemary already made, germinated. They have herbs here for a very affordable price. I've also been to a few Spanish classes. I go to about 2 sessions per week, and I'm just going to insert a clip of the Spanish classes I went to. The Spanish teacher, she spoke Spanish most of the class to help me learn, which was a nice challenge, and I do feel like it's a really good teaching strategy. This is
Anaranjado.
anaranjado.
Sí.
Anaranjado.
Anaranjado, sí, es más o menos como.
Like orange.
Exacto,
Okay.
exacto.
Anaranjado.
Anaranjado, ok.
Marrón.
Marrón, ajá, es como.
Like, is it like a light brown or just like brown?
Puede ser como las brown.
Okay.
Sí,
Marrón.
marrón, ok.
Rosado.
Rosado es como ros.
Yeah.
Sí, rosado o rosa.
Rosa.
Ajá, rosa, ok.
Azul.
Ajá.
Morado. And lastly, I just really wanted to emphasize how amazing this move has been for Diamond. Before we moved here, we were basically living in a concrete jungle. We were living in Chicago, and there really was no places where I could take her off leash safely. But Mazatlán is very dog friendly. They allow the dogs on the beach, and Diamond can literally run to her heart's content. And she is so free here. She is so happy here. She has met little doggy friends here, and she truly is thriving here. We are both thriving here, which is really a sight to see. Before I came here, she didn't really like water, but now she loves water. She still doesn't go all the way into the beach, but she dips her toe in and she lets the waves hit her. So she's starting to get more and more comfortable with it as time goes on. And I really love to see how she can interact with dogs in a free place without having to worry about any rules or regulations.
Hola, buenos días.
Hola, buenos días. Diamond, come here. Hope you enjoyed the highlights of my experience in Mazatlán so far. And I just wanted to come and talk to you guys about some key points that I couldn't really highlight in the video because I didn't really have any footage of them. But I would like to start by saying, first and foremost, my Spanish skills are improving more and more every day. When I had first came to Mazatlán, I barely remembered how to count to 10. I had studied Spanish in the past, but I wasn't consistent with it, and I never really actually put in time to actually learn. But I do personally feel like immersion is the best method of learning a language, and you can't get any more immersion than moving here, right? So I definitely do think that my Spanish is improving every single day. I know how to count to 100 in Spanish. I know a lot more vocabulary, and it's getting more and more, I guess it's improving more and more every day. So you can get by without being fluent in Spanish, but obviously you want to make every attempt that you can to learn the language while you're here. So I would also like to touch on experiences that I've had being a foreigner in Mazatlán. I would definitely say that there are some times I go out in town and I feel like something like a spectacle or like a commodity or something to be studied, because there is not a lot of diversity here. Like I had touched on previously, this is a Mexican vacation spot mainly, so they're not used to a lot of diversity and they're not used to a lot of foreigners, which maybe locals in areas like Cancun would be used to. They're used to seeing people that look like them, plain and simple. Or if anything, they're used to seeing maybe Canadian, like white Canadians or white Americans. They're not really used to seeing black people out here. So when black people do go out and about, I would say be prepared to maybe get stared at, be prepared to maybe hear a little comment if you can't understand Spanish, be prepared to maybe feel a little bit alienated in the beginning, because the people here, they do have a healthy amount of curiosity, and I don't think they have ill intent, but it can feel a little bit alienating at times. I do feel like I'm starting to get used to it, and I feel like, I'm, coming up on a month, and I'm starting to become like desensitized to it, but at first it can seem overwhelming, especially attention that you may get from men. I would say the local men here, they definitely are not shy to look. They're definitely not shy to show that they're interested or show that they're attracted. But I do think it can go over the line sometimes. And like I said, it can get overwhelming at times. I've had a couple of weird experiences dealing with the local men here. Like, for example, my first week moving into my apartment, I had an experience where I was walking into my apartment and someone behind me had slammed on their brakes, and I turned around and it was a Mexican man that was basically like undressing me with his eyes and just making it very, very clear that he liked what he saw, but he was doing it in a very uncomfortable manner. And I just feel like things like that, it's just very excessive and it's not necessary. And I wish things like that didn't happen, but that's just the reality of the situation. Even a couple weeks ago, I had another situation where I was walking up to my apartment. I had passed a Mexican man, and he didn't really seem to take notice of me until I walked past him and I got to my apartment. As I was turning around to close my door, I noticed that he was staring at me entering my apartment, which is just overall just weird and strange and creepy in my opinion, because it's like, why would you turn around and stop and watch someone enter their apartment? Like, what is the motive behind that? What is the intent behind that? I don't want to assume the worst of people, but it's just situations like that overall make you uncomfortable. And I mean, to put it blatantly, it's just really not necessary. It's just really uncalled for. I was even at the animal sanctuary that you guys saw. I was chatting up with a Mexican American volunteer who was vacationing here, and she was telling me that she had went to the beach by herself one day, and the Mexican men were staring at her, and one even approached her and was telling her like, "Hey, I've been watching you. You know, you're very pretty, very beautiful," and she wasn't really comfortable with the fact that they were staring at her and the way he approached her, and she told him like, "I'm uncomfortable, can you leave me alone?" And he was just very persistent until she basically told him, "Either you leave or I leave, you know, because I'm uncomfortable here." And ultimately he left her alone, but she said that it just ruined her overall outing, and she ended up going home anyways. And it's like, it's unfortunate that women can't just enjoy life and just mind their business without dealing with certain interactions from men. I wouldn't say it's like a Mexican problem. It's just a worldwide problem, you know. But overall, I really try not to let isolated incidents like that put a stain on my experience or ruin my experience. But I will just say you have to be safe wherever you are, because the reality is it is a pandemic, and just like everyone else in the world, Mexican citizens are struggling as well. I have, you know, military background. I know how to be aware of my surroundings. I know how to move. And I would say if you're coming, definitely utilize your street smarts and just be wise overall. It's okay to enjoy your time. It's okay to feel at peace. It's okay to feel safe, but it's not okay to be naive, and it's not okay to believe that just because you're out of the United States, you're in a utopia. Because nowhere is a utopia. Nowhere you're going to be 100% safe. I would say you have to stay on your toes wherever you go, and you definitely have to make sure to stay aware of your surroundings wherever you go. Looking at my notes here, that's pretty much all I have to say. But other than that, I would say the positive experiences that I had definitely outweigh the negative experiences. The people here are very friendly, they're very accommodating, they're very welcoming. The weather is wonderful. It's winter time here, so it's starting to cool off even more, which I love, because when I first got here I was sweating like a pig, but now I can actually go outside and exercise without being completely drenched in sweat, which I really appreciate. But yeah, I would definitely say I recommend Mazatlán as a destination for expats to move to. There's a up and coming Black expat population here, which I'm really excited about. And if you guys have any questions or comments, feel free to reach out to me. You can either comment below or reach out to me on Instagram at Rochelle Gone Rogue. All right, thank you for watching my video. See you next time.